Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm doing an Aztec Indian Healing Clay mask. This is great for cleansing and moisturizing, so we'll take this from dry to super moisturized and cleaned. If you want to see how I do this at home, keep on watching.
I just wanna be free, finally, I wanna be free, finally, I wanna be free, finally, I wanna be free, finally.
At the time of recording this video, I was actually prepping my hair to be colored. So I needed to clarify it, and my favorite way to clarify my hair is doing an Aztec Indian Healing Clay mask. It's easy, it's great. Like, I feel like when I use this, my hair doesn't feel stripped, but it feels clean and it doesn't feel overly dry like it does typically when I use clarifying shampoos. So I'm just pulling it out of some braids that I had it, and of course doing a quick length check. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel so you can see how my hair turns out once I get it colored. Now you're going to need the Aztec Healing Indian Clay and some apple cider vinegar, a container to stir it up in, and something to stir it with. I just use a hair coloring container and a chopstick. Start with some powder in your container and add a little bit of the apple cider vinegar. Key is at first to let it sit, and you see those bubbles that are forming? That just activates everything before you start actually stirring it all up. Now, whichever apple cider vinegar you want to use is totally up to you, and I'm almost certain you could use any bentonite clay. But if you want links to everything that I use in this video, just check the description box below. Now, consistency wise, you want to make sure that this isn't too watery, because trust me, you will make a total mess of yourself and your bathroom. I made the mistake the first time of making this way too watery, and it was just a nightmare. Secondly, you don't want to make it too thick either. It shouldn't feel like cement. It should have some movement, but not dripping, if you know what I mean. So take your time with it. Continue to add more apple cider vinegar and more of the Aztec Indian Healing Clay. And at the end, you should get more of like a smoothie type texture versus like a rock hard thick texture or a very soupy texture. It just makes it so much easier when you get into the shower and you're putting this on your hair when it's not too hard and it's not too soft. You want to make sure that you're evenly distributing this all over your scalp and your hair strands. So putting your hair into 4 sections is the best way. Depending on how much hair you have and how thick it is, you'll have to decide. So if your hair is shorter, you might not have to do all this. But if you have longer hair, thicker hair, this is probably a good place to start. I don't do any kind of detangling with tools in the shower until like the very end when I'm putting in my deep conditioner. So this is just me going over it and making sure all the shed hairs are out before I put the clay mask on. Starting off with the Aunt Jackie's Oh So Clean Moisturizing and Softening Shampoo. I actually really like this shampoo. And what I'll tell you guys about using the clay to cleanse your hair and your scalp is I've tried it both ways. So I've done the clay without shampooing first, and I've done it shampooing first, and I find shampooing first works best for me. I prefer how my hair feels afterwards. So you have to decide what works best for you. So try both options, and yeah, let me know in the comments below if you prefer shampooing before your clay mask or after. But either way, just go through section by section and shampoo your hair before moving on to the next step. After you've shampooed each section, make sure that your hair is still wet but not dripping wet, so damp-ish. Your hair shouldn't be dripping, trust me, it just makes this process so much more tedious and messy. Like I said, I've tried this many times in different ways, and I find that when my hair is damp but not dripping wet, it provides the best results for me. And to make sure that you've evenly distributed the product all over your hair, I would suggest you take smaller sections, and this is something that you definitely want to get on your scalp. So make sure you're putting it on your scalp from root all the way down to the tips of your hair, parting it, making sure you get in there. The other thing I would tell you, you do not need to comb through with like a comb or any kind of tool. Your fingers are sufficient enough, because as the clay goes on your hair and starts to dry, it has a cakey feeling to it. It's clay, so it hardens. You don't want to comb through this with tools because you could tear out your hair. So just use your fingers and take your time and go through each part, and then once it's all over your hair, see if you have any leftover and just put it on the scalp or around your hairline. Just get in there and make sure it's all over. Clarifying your hair should be a part of your hair care regimen, but a good rule of thumb is to make sure you're clarifying your hair like once every 4 to like 8 weeks, so whether once a month or once every other month. Now put your hair up, put on a shower cap, and put something on your head to lock in the heat, and keep this on for a minimum of 20 minutes. This Aztec Indian Healing clay treatment is great for product buildup. I mean, your hair will feel so nice and soft and moisturized. It doesn't strip it, dry feeling, none of that. And what I also noticed is when you're detangling, it's easier. Your styles just look better. If you notice that you're doing a style and you're using the same products that you always use, but it just isn't sitting right, it's not styling properly, or the products are just sitting on top of your hair, it's probably time for a clarifying treatment. After you've rinsed out the clay mask with water, you're just going to go in with your favorite conditioner and just condition your hair. I typically do co-washes every now and again, and when I do, I use the Aussie Moist. It's just really easy. But just really get in there on the scalp, because this step is going to help to get rid of any clay that was left behind after you first rinsed it. I have been natural since 2009. Like, guys, I've done everything imaginable to my hair at this point. I've done regular blowouts, Brazilian blowouts, some keratin straightening treatment. I can't remember the name of it. I've worn my hair curly, straight. I use heat. I air dry. I've big chopped twice, Texlac, extensions, wigs, sew-ins, lace fronts, clip-ins. I've colored it. I even did DIY starter locks with micro braids, and I wore those for a year and a half. So I've learned a lot over the years, and I have a whole natural playlist. If you guys want to check it out, I'll leave it in the cards. I got lots of great tips. This hands down is one of my favorite deep conditioners. I love the TGIN products, this one, and I also love one of their leave-in conditioners. Love, 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 love. So go in individual sections, like I said before, and make sure you get this all over your hair. And again, like the clay mask, you want to leave this on for like a minimum of 20 minutes. I think on this day I had some like cleaning up around the house to do, so I probably had this in for like a good 2 hours. before I washed it out again. But as long as you have it in for at least 20 minutes, you're good. And again, if you have low porosity hair like myself, it's always good to add a heat element, and you can just do that literally by putting the plastic cap on and then putting on one of these heat caps on, and then I go ahead and put my microfiber towel over top of that so that my natural body heat can just heat up the product and really get it into my strands. Once you do this Indian Healing Clay Mask, I'm telling you guys, your hair is going to feel so nice and clean and moisturized and soft and not dry and stripped. And detangling is going to be a dream. Make sure you save this video, do this clay mask, and let us know in the comments how it worked for you, if you made any tweaks or changes, added anything. And check out my other playlists and videos for more great tips for hair care, travel, and entrepreneurship. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!